Welcome to Panorama Card Players Only. My name is Noel La Pierre. Today we have in the house Mr. Junia Regrello, the mayor of San Fernando. Let's welcome him.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much,
Junior.
Noel.
Welcome.
And I think although
Yes,
I wear
yes,
many
yes,
hats,
yes.
I would like to be put as a pan player.
But Junior,
See,
you're a
seeing
pan
that this
player
program,
masquerader. You cover.
but seeing that this program is some pan players, I want to be a pan player slash masquerader slash culture activist, all of that.
Nice, nice. In the house, Junior Regrello. I want to say this part. I want to say the Honorable Mayor of San Fernando. Welcome,
And I take that to the
my
city of San
brother.
Fernando.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Personally, I like your growth, right? You never fall short of your dream and vision, right? And we had this talk many decades ago, right? And I see it come to pass. So congratulations on all the achievements.
But
Personally,
thank you, Noel. I
from
mean,
my heart, honestly.
you and I go back to the 80s, so that's a long time ago, boy.
Yeah, decades, right? And we really do think, man, you used to leave South and drive down the road to get to play in the panorama and stuff. And we used to come up the
Mhm.
road. It used to be good, right? And the
Well,
camaraderie, the
it would have
friendship
been a
was
love in those
genuine.
days.
Never had no. Yes. It was a love. It was a real love for the art form because people not doing that. People not making that commitment just so no more.
Well, I remember when
Right?
whoever Sharp was arranging,
Yeah, and
we
I
became part of the team.
I am glad that I was part of that because that helped build the art form and the art form is yes, yes. That was a good trip. That was a good trip. But anyways, let me leave the sauce and the juice for later. All right. Tell us about Junior,
Mm.
a little boy running
Okay.
around San Fernando Hill, and Hoytonian's experience and thing.
Yep.
Because AJ was there, right?
So I want to explain that aspect.
Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, Noel.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Junior?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yes, so tell us from your boy days growing up.
Well,
Yes,
so I am
thank you.
from
Tell us
Vistabella,
about your boy days. Your growing.
where when
All
you know
right.
where
Tell us
Skippery.
about your growing up days and how you get into pan. How?
Oh, well, that's a long story. Noel, I grew up with grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So in being with grandparents, my grandparents had a Baptist church. So they were really, preoccupied with their church activities. So I had a lot of spare time, a lot of free time, and wandered my way and found my way into a pioneer steel band called Texaco Styles. And that would have been in the 60s. I could have been about 14 or 15 years old at the time, and started playing with the band. They were preparing for one of these T-band festivals. I remember the test piece was the first test piece was uh, trying to remember right now. Okay, I'll come back just now. And I learned the test piece, but didn't make the festival side. So that hurts, but I stick around and continue playing in the band. So that was my early days in learning about pan. I had a lot of free time and being in the pan. Name of the test piece was Mary Wise of Windsor. Remember that now? And that would have been somewhere, I think, 66, 67, somewhere around there. And I made my debut the following year in Panorama. And by the following year, I was on the stage side and section leader. And our went into another festival again. The test piece was Sunday Morning by Benjamin Britten. And our tune of choice was Morning, Moon and Night in Vienna by Franz von Suppy, uh, Franz von Suppy. And that piece became All Stars winning piece back in 1980. So my introduction to pan really started with playing festival music, and I really have a love for festival music. But festival music is what develops you and allow you to understand the dexterity of the instrument and the ability to play long passages and the control that required and hitting the notes and things like that. So my early days in pan started really with music festival, two festivals back, three festivals back to back. My
Good
last
to hear
festival at
that.
that band was 19, sorry.
No, just amazing that you was in the core, the thing at the festival, how important that festival music and playing was back then. And it's there you
Mhm.
came out from. Go ahead, amazing,
And what
nice.
was amazing, the people who tune our bands was a fellow called Alan Jove. I sure have heard that name. Alan Jove is one of the unsung heroes in the band from the South. He
I heard
started
that
with,
name up there yesterday morning.
right, Alan Jove. Now, because of my age, and strange enough, Noel, I was not attending school. And I was 15 years old at the time, so my job was to come to the panya earlier in the mornings when Alan came to shoot the pans and bring out the pans and carry them back in. So I used to sit down there and watch Alan Jove grooving the pan in the most awkward style and or even boring and clumsy. But that's very, very unique song and tone. And as I got older and got to understand the industry a little more, realized how valuable and how good Alan was. One of the pans I played was a four cello that he had tuned, and that had a different tone to the cello of now. It had a low humming sound that allowed the cello to even augment the basses or even the mid range when required, and and the notes had that peculiar shape that only Alan, I guess, could have done. So that's my early days working with Alan and working with this band in particular. And the early leaders in that band was a fellow called Steve Regis. I don't know if you're out in Canada, you should know Steve Regis. Right? Steve was one of the foundation members of the South versus South. One of the people who really established the pan movement in South. He was in a band, this band called Sundangers. He was selected to work to tour with the National Street Orchestra way back in the early 60s. Steve is based in Toronto now, and he was one of the foundation members of this Texaco West Side band that I played with. I left West Stars in 1973 to form Hoytonians because we wanted to replicate what Tripolians was doing for Spain and the novelty of playing that type of music. So we went down there with some of our stars players, of course, and formed Hoytonians, and we got sponsorship immediately. I was a group of guys at Lyman hang around San Fernando that formed this band. We became immensely popular within a short space of time and was able to transcend and got into the party circuit. And those what we now call all inclusive parties, but they had a different format in those days. This party will start on Sunday morning, and we'll be invited there. And at the end of the party, we will take the people out of the party, we'll take them home as a peace meeting. We were, well, I always had some ambitious ideas and lofty ideas of where I think the band should go and what we should do. So it wasn't long before the sponsor and I fell out, and I was challenged because I wanted the band to go in a particular direction. Um, it didn't take me long to realize that this panoramic thing really didn't have much potential and for development and how much two chord tunes you could play. And you're playing a band that the band that had limited instruments, absolutely no bass at all. And when you got a bass, it was a duduk, or you got a bass with five notes that you could hardly move from one key to the next. And I wanted to play remember I come from a festival background. So I wanted to play big tunes. And you can't play big tunes with a guitar pan that has nine notes, and a bass that have five notes. That's not making any sense. So that is where we had some challenges. So we left in 1976 and formed, well, Skiffle Bunch. We got a name because the bunch came because people felt that when we left Hoytorians, or when the opportunity came for us to leave, the sponsor offered some incentive for the members to stay and follow me in my plan. And the entire band left the sponsor all by himself and came with me because, well, I had a good vision. I suppose that they were buying into my vision. Uh, so that's where the term bunch came. We stuck together like a bunch of grapes. And skiffle because we were playing man-made limited instruments from a particular era. And that name, well, it stuck. Within a short space of time, we regained our position and became popular once more. And made a quite a name for ourselves in the late 70s. We won our first Panorama the following year in 1977. And we continued to do that for quite a while, winning, uh, developing a phenomenal record. And then again, progress came because we wanted to move on. And again, festival had an influence. 1984 festival. The festival was reintroduced in 1980, and under Kirpalani, if you remember that festival. So we went in. They had a category for single pan band. We went in there playing another big tune called for the Fledermaus. But in this day, but the Fledermaus, you cannot play the Fledermaus on a single pan band. You really can't. So we struggled, we forced it, we missed notes, we missed parts, and we didn't win. The following, for the 1984 festival, I decided that if this is what it is, there must be a way to navigate the problem. And I contacted your good friend and my good friend Bugsy Sharp and asked Bugsy if he could compose a piece specifically for this band based on the range of notes that we had available. Well, Bugsy, of course, was reluctant because he felt, well, he wasn't into that realm of music and didn't want to do it. So I said, you just work around with what you have. You have a tenor line, you have a harmony line, you have a second line, you have guitars with about 12 notes. Now, we moved to 12 notes that time. And we could work around the bass section. But you have five notes on the bass. And what we do, we get one set of note pieces carrying five notes, and the next set carrying a different five notes. So you can get some depth there. Uh, so Bugsy,
Right, right, right.
eventually agreed. He came down a Saturday morning, and we started about 10 o'clock. And we finished exactly 10 o'clock at night. So we spent almost, 12 hours, and we had 23 minutes of music. This might sound crazy. No, like 17 minutes of music. We had no name. We just had a set of notes after notes and various melodies going from part to part. So we decided to invite Pat Bishop to ask her to look at listen to this music and analyze it for us. So Pat came the following Sunday. By that time, we brought it down to about 10 minutes. And she said, I am hearing duends, and I'm seeing a larger bless, and I'm seeing characters of the forest, and they all danced in the forest. So we'll name this tune Dance of the Duends, 1984.
Beautiful.
So that piece of music became Dance to the Duends, went to the festival and won.
Correct. Mash
You
down
want
the
to comment
place.
on that? You want to comment on that, Noel?
I said yes, no, yes. I remember that. I remember dancing the Dwens because '84 is when I joined Phase 2, right? And
Mm,
all our music, you see, boy, our bicycle here doing this song, Dance of the Dwens. So everybody was listening because he did Dance of the Dwens there and he did Moods 2 or Moods 1, one of the two, Moods 2, right? For that festival.
mm,
So the guy was in a different zone and it was a
yeah.
privilege being close to experience this craft
Hmm.
manifesting. And
Hmm.
to be honest, Dance of the Dwens was really like a dance of the Dwens.
Yep.
You know, it
Yep.
was we had that kind of
I know that
drama
I
and
know that for instance, I know that I think some of the schools played it in the school festival, and some I think
test
another
piece.
large convention, yeah, another large convention band played it. But what they did not capture was the essence of that of the music, because what we did, we dramatized the music with a rational. explaining what happened in this tune. So we had African drums and we had spooky parts where when Elijah Bless and when Papa Boy entered the scene, what happened and the scary parts. So we had all those moods that was expressed and explained in the rational in the music. Now, without the background, the story to it, anybody replicating the music will not understand it. So they just take the score and run with the score. But you have to know the inner working behind the storyline behind the music. And very few bands were able to capture that aspect of it because they didn't have the knowledge and the understanding. That was interesting because after 1984, the following festival was 1986. And we came back with something original again. We came back with the saga of the San Fernando Hill. And where we were able to pull information on the history of the San Fernando Hill and how it worked and its progression over the years and how it evolved over the years and put that into a storyline and put it into a musical line. And again, we won that festival with Dixie's composition of the saga of the San Fernando Hill. It didn't stop there. In 1988, we came back with another sharp original piece called The Three Seasons and won our first hat trick in our festival. I think over the first band, whether it's single or convention, whatever you want to call it, to win a hat trick in festival for the 3 seasons. The 3 seasons really spoke about the dry season, the wet season, and Petit Kareem. So we were able to capture what happens in dry season. So dry season, you have cricket, you have football, you have cricket, sorry, you have sporting events, and that's everything. You have carnival, you have the beginning of the year, all those festive events that was interpreted in music. And then you went to the rainy season. What happens? You have the hurricane, the storms, the flooding, all those different things. And of course, the in between, which is the Pitikarim. That was another masterpiece by Sharp. I think I was to win our trip, our hat trick and festival. And this one is most interesting. In 1990, which is the following year, we composed a piece again for that festival. And we started that music somewhere, I think, after Carnival, and we completed it by the end of June. The name of the piece was The Amazon. Well, we all know what happened in July of 1990, and the festival was cancelled in 1990. That I kept that music on a cassette, that draft for that for almost 10 years. And for the World Festival of 2000, the Amazons became in the rainforest that won the World Ski Band Festival.
Okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that, but the
Mhm.
rainforest was bad.
Yeah.
That I came. I was in Bermuda and I came home for that
Mhm.
festival time. I sat down in that GMPR complex. My mouth
Mhm.
was, you understand, because out in Bermuda we were doing classics, and to come
Yeah.
and hear this piece, this orchestra, full orchestra,
Yep.
execute this piece of music and it
You know,
dramatize the forest. It was
Noel,
amazing.
and let us go back it up now. So we took the Amazons, which is really about the rainforest, from a pan long neck version, kept it and used that as the format and the foundation to develop in the rainforest. And there were so many persons that worked on that project. Pat Bishop was also behind the scenes there. And we started, remember, this is a small band that now, making a name for themselves, and we didn't have the resources or the membership to
Hey,
carry that kind of thing.
hold up. This
Yeah.
band was the champion three-peat winners of the music festival, single pan.
In
This
Singapore. Now here
right,
we
this
are now,
band
right here we are now
unconventional.
in a right here we now in our world festival. We went conventional in 1992. So 8 years
Right.
after, we tried to make a name for ourselves. So we came into Policy with Ben Jackson with us as our conductor, young Ben Jackson, but behind the scenes, orchestrating as you usually do. Bugsy with this original piece of music. And we're going to a world festival, bands from all over the world coming to compete. And so people were just gravitating to this song and what they were hearing. I remember Duvan Stewart came one night to hear the band. We were actually, after the semi-finals, we stayed for about 2 weeks in GPA complex because we were not coming back down to San Fernando. And we'll bust the band up every night by Maxi and go up and rehearse behind GPA complex. And Duvan came with one or two partners just to get the band practice. And next thing I know, Duvan was behind a band with me too. Next thing you know, the one asked me if we have space. And then we had people were just gravitating to this because it was exciting, it was attractive. It was a young band, and we were playing something that was different to everybody else. We were playing original music, and it was a chance to represent Trinidad and Tobago in a usual festival. What is even more interesting is that during the festival, because I think we played band number 6 or 7, we got results as in typical Pan Tobago style. Somebody leaked the results to us midway that two foreign bands were leading, and that said I was in trouble.
I hear that talk. I heard
We
that
had,
talk. Yes, I
so
heard
we
that
had
talk.
to pull out,
Yeah.
we had to pull out all stuff. Understand? And I
Only
think
was the only
we all,
hope. Only,
but the old, that was it.
only was
We
the only.
went out, we went out and play for country, play for country, and one because I tell you something. Had we lost that festival, every trailer, every trailer in Paris would be still weeping because no way you're gonna
Yes.
let Punch and Ebony and NIU,
NIU come
NIU,
and beat you. NIU. Yeah.
betray your backyard.
NIU.
NIU, with William T. leader. So, NIU was the leading man at the time. So I think we did well at
Yes. NIU. They
that
came with what kind of percussive things?
all kind of thing.
Yeah,
That
they
a
came
fellow
with all kind of percussion.
Robert Chappell,
Yes. Yes.
Robert Chappell was the only kind of
Yes.
things inside of there. Because you talk about very talented, amazing, very qualified musicians, and they were bringing a new, a new depth to the festival. We were
Yes.
unaccustomed to that, away from the European style of music, you know, and bringing new ideas, very innovative ideas, and we were able to go in there. So it had that kind of excitement, and that festival remained, a point for me, a reference point for me because of so many factors. Booksy's input, Booksy's contribution, the original music, all the people who came out and supported us, in there. Um, I pray for that festival. It was really, really an amazing experience. Kareem Brown was also involved with there. Kareem was
Yes. Yeah.
assistant.
But they had players. When you
Yeah,
scan
yeah,
your band, yeah, you had players. Yeah, you had
quality,
players.
quality, quality players.
Yeah.
Kareem was assisting Ben. And as I said before, young people who were just on the fringe, not playing anywhere, came and played with us because
Yes.
it was
Yes. Yes.
country first. So that
Yes.
festival will be a standout point. And we also went to two festivals after that and run 2 seconds. We did one in New York at Madison Square Garden, where Exodus won. We were
Right.
second to the Exodus. And these things happen in competition. But we have been very consistent at festival level, if not Panorama, and it ties it back to where my passion really is. Because if you look at our success at the festival, we have always been one first or second, only festival we competed in, as opposed to
Yes.
the other type of competition.
But you all haven't broken the barrier yet as a conventional band in Panorama, but you all had some successful victories with Booksy Sharp too, right? Also I, right, that I experienced. So tell us about the
Mhm.
Panorama experience because even when you went to conventional, you changed arrangers, you had people like Wayne Bruno working with you,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Back in the day.
what happened there? Remember that Buxi came into our band somewhere in 1970, 78, somewhere around there. Buxi started coming around skip 1977 actually. We started doing
Okay.
stateside music for us. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
77
Okay.
started doing stateside music for the band 1977, and no- and so he'd been around the band for quite a while as he himself evolved and developed. And when we decided to go a panorama with Bugsy, it would have been, I think it would have been 83 when he did Ash Wednesday Jail for us. And we found our way with him, I think it would have been 1985 or somewhere around then. Yeah, 85, when we won our first panorama with him, 85. And then we all came in. And then I remember, there's an interesting story I want to share with you, and that is to do with 1987, I think it was. Buxi came to the Panyard and said he had two tunes, one for triple and one for pastry. I said, well, which one for triple? I said, well, let's say hear the two tunes. Hear the two tunes. And one was Pan, right, but one was Pan Progress and one was This Feeling Nice. So I said, well, I like Pan Progress. He said, nah, Pan Progress is pastry tune. You have to take This Feeling Nice. That's all right. We started with This Feeling Nice. He did the first variation, and drama as the case may be. And the following Saturday, he came back and put on some more. We were about halfway through the thing. I think we were doing wrong at that time as well. And at the end of the evening, he said to me, I think I have a problem here. And it was that. He said, I get like fan progress. I said, "Well, yeah." He said, "I said, let us scrap this tune. And then phase to do this really nice and you do fan progress." I said, "You crazy? This is we don't do half the tune already. This really nice is our tune." He said, "So what we gonna do?" I said, "Well, both bands play the tune." He said, "Sure." I said, "Yeah, I don't have a problem with that." He said, "Right." And this is how phase two and Skipper end up playing this feeling nice. And
And one.
the the other interesting thing about that, so I know you and I have a record, you and I the first one of some of the few people consider we played in a single pan and a large band and one pan about that same year.
Yes,
But the
yes.
interesting thing that Booksy also told me that he had no words for this tune and he wanted somebody to write the words for the song. So my drummer named Gregory Ballantyne, we call him Jimmy. He's a writer, Why don't you ask him to write the song? He said, "Sure." I say, "Yeah, Jimmy can write, man." So Jimmy wrote the words for this feeling night and subsequently became the writer for most of other Booksy songs during that era.
Correct.
So Skipper was involved in many ways as Booksy evolved and progressed and went along. But come back to the record. So you played with Skipper that year, and I played with Phase 2, and both of us won a Panorama playing the same tune,
Same song.
a simple pan and a
And
large
conventional.
convention.
Yes. Yes, yes. And not only that, the relationship built
Mm.
that your players like Goddard, Gary,
Got
everybody, it
Maddie,
was like
Maddie, Gary, Moving,
yes,
all that came up.
yes,
So we were going back and forth, going back and forth.
yes.
And we did it the following year with Woman is Boss.
Woman,
We did the same thing, Woman is Boss the following year. You know?
you know, it really developed a good relation. I have no problem, and South, I really appreciate coming down South because I get a taste with Antillian, right? I
Mm-hmm.
help out Ellis down in Deltones,
Yeah, superior.
right? And then
Mm.
half us come up with Colombo Kings. Is Colombo
Yeah,
Kings?
Colombo Kings, yeah.
You understand? Then Brooks was with Hattards. So
Mm-hmm.
so I move around and then we meet pro and to be honest, I meet some good brothers down on our side, to be honest. And even when you was working with Bruno,
Mm-hmm.
Ansel,
Bruno, yeah.
yeah, you had this brother Ansel was
And
drilling your
Sylvia,
band.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Nice heart, man. Good musicians, talented people,
Yeah,
around
yeah,
your band down south there,
had a nice couple of players. That era of the 70s and 80s, even the early 90s, had a couple of genuine band players who were committed and dedicated to the cause. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think that
Yes.
I don't think they did it for money. They did it for love and dedication and commitment, and that made a huge difference.
It's always the whole day, from before lunch in the
You
yard
know,
and
we
staying
were
in the yard.
we were pan jumbies,
Yes, 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 yes,
We
yes,
need to
yes.
go from Panya to Panya. That would be
Fine,
the
yeah.
playing, playing by Delco, playing by Skipper, playing by Face,
What?
back and forth whole day, whole night.
Eh, but,
Right?
but and Trinidad was so small,
Yeah.
and I tell people, you all might know me now, but plenty yards. I was always welcome in plenty of those yards, man. We used to live different.
Yep.
We used to live different. We used to live different. So here now, so your career change, you also not change. Let me don't go that part yet. Let's talk about the mass man Junior Regrello. How the mass thing come in with the pan and the how you used to do this? Because it's 87. I know you're a mass man. It's my grandmother tell me yes. He just play mass. He's kicking his carnival. All kind of. My
Yeah, yeah,
grandmother
yeah,
know
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You know.
Well, the thing about it, being from the, let's say, the creative world, mass, I had joined a band in South called Soul Connection. What they were doing, they were bringing so-called personalities to make this band into a force. And my job in the band was to work with the king at the band. So I do not work king about the bands. I do not work mass. So my job was to get the king to Port of Spain and get him back. So I went up with the king for the preliminaries. That would have been somewhere around 1983, somewhere around there. And at the Savannah, I saw Geraldo Vera, you know that name? And Hilton Cox pull up in a pickup.
No. Right. I know
And
Hilton
Geraldo
Cox.
Vera sit down and pull out some plastic bags that were numbered. So I watched what's going on here and started to mount a costume. And within a half an hour, a costume was assembled. I knew what the costume was Bachak Tutin Ganja or something like that. And I said, but what the hell is this? I thought Mars had that kind of a creativity in it. I didn't know all of that involved in it, and I was that really really excited me. Right? And I said, nah, I had to get into this because I want to be part of this whole thing, because it deals with creativity, it deals with the arts, it deals with making something happen and making something out of nothing. And that was my first involvement in Mars. And then the following year, I think it was, 1984, I think it was, I was the king for the same man called our king damaged his back. And we had to get somebody to replace him. And I was out of the country where I was nominated to be the king to replace. But I didn't even know I was nominated. But in the back of my mind, that experience with Hilton Cox and Georgia stuck in my mind. So when I came back and told me we are nominated you to be the king, what are your thoughts? And said, I'll go for it. Uh, then I went out of Canada on a tour with Scribble and had to leave the tour and come back to Trinidad the Saturday night or the Sunday morning to go on stage, stay that night and perform. It was a bad experience because I wasn't prepared and I barely made it across the stage and I felt disappointed. I think I let the band down. So I think that's where I got the put us to work hard and not let the band down. So I came back the following year and won the band San Fernando, won about 4 or 5 times and was very consistent in Port Spain. And then I moved to Minshell somewhere around the late 90s and became a professional masquerader and worked with Carlo Company. And by that time, Peter Samuel had left Peter Minshell, and I toured with Alison as Saga Boy and made some good money playing mass.
What
Uh,
I look at
I
that.
always tell, I always tell people I made more money playing mass than playing pan.
I agree with you. I agree with you. For some reason,
So
it always worked that way.
yeah, so I think Minsha had a different vision for it. So we toured quite a few countries. We were out in Europe, we were out in Asia. Sagabai was a new phenomenon at that time. It was very, very, very popular. And then we went to New York and performed at the where was that? At the Blessed Madison Square Garden, one of those places, compete and perform there right through. We were just touring as
so,
masquerader. And,
so
sorry,
you was in the Olympics too. Or?
no, I didn't do the Olympics. I came in after the
Oh, okay.
Olympics. Yeah, after the
Oh, okay,
Olympics.
okay, okay.
So I did
Yeah,
France,
man.
I did France, I did England, I did Singapore. I did those things with Minshall. I was there. Actually, if Skipper didn't become a conventional band, that would really, really cripple my mass activity and other type of involvement that I had. Because moving from a single band to a conventional band in 1992 was really a challenge. I did not realize how much work it entailed and how much it took out of me.
Man, producing a band to be a champion band, it really calls for dedication,
Yep.
time, understanding family, because sometimes you could have your wife waiting a little too long for the pickup now. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Darkness
Well,
might come in. Yeah, yeah, all,
it,
yes.
it was we Skiffle became a conventional band in 1992. So Bugsy was committed to phase two. You had to get an arranger who you could work with. I had met Wayne Bruno at a studio with Otimares in Mount Lambert, and found it to be quite exciting and to be a young arranger with great ideas. So we asked him to come. Wayne didn't know anything about pan. Wayne came with his guitar and learned about the pan and did our 2 years with us. And then he formed a band called Rapid Response and became the arranger or the resident band for Spectacular. And so we couldn't continue. I had to find an arranger, and I was home one night and saw Professor on television with this band from up in East there. It was sponsored by
Poten-
Potential.
Potential, yes.
Yeah, and after the performance, the announcer asked me, I think it was Daniel asked me, "Hello, what?" if he's no longer in South. He said no, he had left one, and he had no intention of coming back to South. So I said, there's no song and right. So I jumped in my car and drove to Port State. My wife and I, my wife and I went backstage and met Professor on the track and said, Professor, when you come to the skiffle, he had a hearty laugh. He didn't ever think I was serious. But we agreed to meet after Carnival, and we agreed that he came down and arranged for us in 1995. We played a tune called Jump and Mash Up the Party by Anstey Douglas, and came sixth in the finals. So just imagine,
Nice.
this is our third year,
Nice.
third
Ken
year as a
Professor.
contestant, and made a final and came sixth. By that time, I think Sharp might have been out of the country, and I think Phase Two came fifth and Skipper came sixth, somewhere around there.
Oh, that is when with rearrangements. That is when
Yes, yes,
rearrange. Booksy wasn't
yes, yes.
yes, 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 yes.
So
Yes. I know I
we
know
did
picture, yes.
yeah, we did 2 years with
Booksy
Ken.
wouldn't like that, you know.
Yeah,
Booksy
I
would not
think
get
so.
vexed with you. Booksy would not get
Yeah, yeah,
vexed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. And then we did 2 years with Ken. Then the judges were very harsh, very hard on Ken. So we decided, while I think we were in London touring and bumped up Harry somewhere while in London. And after what he was doing, the made nothing. I said, coming on just first. He came down in 1997 and did a tune for us and we came fifth again. So uh, Mani's worked with us for 2 years. And the following year, 1990, Addis and I fell out because uh, December of 1997, uh, I was invited to the studio to hear a recording with David Rudder. It was a tune called High Mass. And when I heard it, I said, whoa, this is a crazy tune. So I asked Pat Bishop for a copy of a cassette of the tune, and I sent it to Annie's in London. And I said, we don't like the tune. So I said, what tune you like? He said, Brian, we go for a tune called Behave Yourself. And he wanted to go with Behave Yourself. So he came down, I picked him up in the airport, and we drive on the way to South. And I play High Mass and Mata, over. At one point, he stopped me somewhere in the middle where he drive. He goes, you want to play this tune? I said, yes. He said, I don't play this tune. I said, all right. I left it like that. But I realized at that point that, we'll go ahead with he's the arranger and you will have the final say on it. And we did play this tune by Brian Bean. And we didn't do too well. I think we came last in the final. And of course, we all know what happened with High Mass.
Yeah. I must run with the Panorama.
And that was the end of Skiffle and Alice.
Oh my gosh.
And then entered Godwin Bowen into the picture. And we did 2 years in Bowen. We did Stranger. I think we came fifth as well. That is well hard so that one. And we have been there looking for an arranger to settle in and work with, but no, most people were either were using us as a passing through or stuff like that. And nobody was prepared or committed to work with us for the long haul and long term. And we were trying to find ourselves as well until about 3 or 4 years ago. Three young fellows from New York came to Trinidad to work for the local the international Panorama. And I had gotten a call a couple of months before that they were looking for a pioneer to host them, and we agreed to host them. And I found that the little guys had some potential. Uh, there was Mark Brooks, Uri Gonzalez, and Kendall Williams. Fellows who were doing they were involved in bands outside it. So I asked if they were interested in working with Skipper. They say, why not? So one, Douglas Martin, who died recently, if you know Dougie from New York.
Doggy.
Yeah,
Doggy's my brother, you know. Doggy was staying
right.
by me for that
Right.
Panorama, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
So here is
Doggy's
the
my man.
when Dougie came to me and said, that's not a good idea. Why don't you work with Kendall? When Kendall is the most qualified of the three, and it's a good idea. I said, well, I heard the three of them for the first time working and I like how they how how the gel and how they think
I
and
mean,
what
they came high in the
experience.
Panorama, you know. They do good. They beat
Right?
face too.
right? I used to go there, but Doggy wasn't pleased with that idea. Doggy was really recommending Kendall.
Kendall. Right.
Uh, so they worked with us the first year. I think we came ninth. And then the second year we came seventh, and we were boarding in that area. And then a couple of years ago, they were doing a tune in the yard. That was 2018. And I came to the yard late one night, and I thought that this tune wasn't sounding good. So I came home, and when Joshua came, I said, Joshua, what are your thoughts about that tune? So he couldn't see. I said, you have any idea how far this tune will reach? He said, he couldn't see. So I pick up the phone and I call them. And I said, guys, here what you have two options. Finish this tune and hope for the best, or change it and give yourself a chance. They said, well, Panorama is 5 days from now, how to change the tune? They said, well, what can we play? And we'll re-examine the tunes that were wrong. And, and out of, I think, one of the tunes that was popular was being played by Renegades. There was one that was very popular by Putri that three or four bands were playing. And our stars were playing something else as well. I didn't really want to go in that kind of a battle. I don't think we're ready for that. But I kept hearing this song by Kest. But I don't listen to the radio, so I didn't know the name of the song. But all I was hearing is doom 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 doom, and I didn't know what song it was. So I said, I keep hearing this song. What song is this? This is that song that's Hello by Kiss. I said, I like that song. I said, so I said, they said, okay. So we could do the song. They said, all right. And then the next morning, somebody said, I think he's still playing that same tune. I said, well, but we are not, don't have a problem with that, We Kingston skip to come to like big brother and small brother. So we started the song the same day, I think it was, and we completed. And by the end of the preliminary, we were running second. I think we had dropped about 15 in semi-final, and we moved back to second in the final. And that was a very good year for us, and I think we have been consistent since then.
Yeah, that was a good. You all catch people in the finals. There you catch phase two. Pants down. What all they do between semi-finals and finals, or they catch phase two, because it was like a different hello, a real hello. One that you're willing to hear for ages was a beautiful version. Good interpretation. Good job by the three of them. Doggy was quite
Mhm.
impressed. He had the iron in his hand. He's sweating. And
Yeah, I
yes,
think Doggy
Shay,
played it.
next tonight he give me some
Yeah,
talk.
Doggy played that
May
here. I
he
remember that.
rest in peace. He was a good contributor. He
Yeah.
dog yeah, yeah, right. Yes, a good contributor. So we're moving on from Skipper Bunch, and then your career even transcend again in the next direction. Because during that you was a minister in the Ministry
Member
of
of Parliament.
Culture. So tell us
Yeah.
about that experience since you get into
Well,
politics at
well,
that level.
it's all tied into the pan. We got invited to perform at a festival in
How
France
that
and
has
Europe.
it?
And again.
How politics affected
But
Junior?
I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you now. Skipper got by this time I had become something of an entrepreneur, promoter, whatever it was. So I was doing projects and doing tours out in Europe. So we had a contract to perform in Europe,
Okay, right? And
right? And I approached Tidco at the time and was able to sell Tidco the idea that we can promote Trinidad and Tobago if they assist us to go out on the store. Once we get to Europe, we're going to cover the circuit, but I want some assistance with the airfare, and we come like we
okay, all right,
promoting
right,
Trinidad and
yeah.
Tobago. And they look at the proposal and they agreed to send us out to Europe. But once we got there, we take care of ourselves, but we'll carry promotional material, we will promote Trinidad and Tobago and promote the tourist board while outside there. And we also be prepared to do performances for the tourist board wherever and whenever to their convenience. And that we agreed on that. So we had to pick up the flight in Tobago. The major contingent left Trinidad and went to Tobago, and I was part of the backup group even a couple of days after. While they were in Tobago, they arrived in Tobago in the morning, and the party to leave like about 6 in the evening by Virgin Airlines to go to London. While they were there, an emergency meeting was held at the board, and the officials at TIDCO, somebody at TIDCO highlighted to the board that this ban is a PNM ban. At that time, the UNC was in government. For this was, I think, about 1996 or somewhere around there. 1996, yes. There's a PNM ban, and there's no way that they should spend that kind of money to promote a PNM ban. And the tickets were pulled and the flights were cancelled. I got a call from the band that they didn't know what to do. So I had to arrange for them to go into a guest house. I had to go into Royal and raise a loan to get the band out to London. So when we got to London, I had gone to the embassy to them that we were in London and we had some gigs to do and we had to work for them or whatever. And I met Ken Valley at the Trinidad and Tobago High Commission. I was sharing the story with Ken Valley. So Ken Valley asked me what party I belong to. I say, none. I used to be a Jack many, many years ago. He said, but I joined the PNO now because you can't get blamed for nothing. So I came back home and I contacted and I met with Junia Williams and I told her what happened to us and how embarrassed I was and how hard we had to work. And she sent me some PLM forms and I joined the party. My first assignment at the party was board member for TIDCO. So 2 years after I was a board member, when the PLM won the election under Patrick Manning, and I had access to all the documents and decision making and what actually happened and who said it. The person who made that decision was a gentleman called Vishnu Ram Logan, who was the CEO at the time. On the board you had at the time, also the board members were our good friend, some other good well-known politicians who were posted. So that's where I started. While I was there, I was on the on two boards at the time, and then in 2003, while on touring to be in Barbados again with Stalin, I got a call that I was appointed as an alderman in the San Fernando City Corporation. I accepted it. The stipend was next to nothing, but it was a good experience to be as a San Fernando to serve on the council. So I came back and served on the council for about 4 years. And then I had gone to Cuba, Mr. Manning, sometime in 2006. And while I was there, he informed me that he had me more or less as a possible candidate for the 2007 election. And I thought about it, came back, screened, went to the election and won and became a member of parliament and was working in the ministry. But I think the decision was made based on the fact that I really got shook up with that thing with TIDCO when the ban was more or less blacklisted based on somebody's view that we were PNM. And I don't think that politics should have any, whether or not we were or members were members of the party, that should not influence the decision or the outcome. And I said, well, if that is what it is, let me be in a political party where I can make decisions for myself. And it has worked because they were to do so much and help so in so many areas, very discreetly and very quietly, make a contribution as a mayor who is somebody that is, cultural by nature and by background. And many times we have situations where the opportunities to help people in the culture were, for instance, a couple of months last year, it was a steel man was thrown out on the ground that had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. Because they were part of a school program. A new principal came and was an agreement to you man out. I was able to facilitate and get a space for them, help them out, and several things like that occur from time to time. And because of where I sit and the power that you think I may not have, I have, and I help people at home. And I've been doing that. I will continue to do so. I have 2 more years again, and then I'll be out of it. And what I've said about came on, I did what I had to do, and I move on to something else.
Here we go. Yeah. We are back. We are back. This program is brought to you by Pine Group Production, music for entertainment for all occasion. My name is Noel La Pierre. Our guest today is Mr. the Mayor, the Honorable Mayor of San Fernando, Mr. Junia Regrello. Yes, we are back inside. What's happening, Jay? Everything cool?
Yeah,
Junior.
cool.
Nice.
Yes, I'm inside.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man. A little break of intermission there. So we were talking about your politics period and getting in there and as a minister, and now you're a mayor. Before that, we broke in transmission. You could continue from where you left off. That'd be nice.
Well, I'm not sure where we broke. I know what we were speaking about. What it means to be. I mean, I've gone through the part about being a member of parliament, and I was able to work.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to do by being in corporation was to bring Panorama to San Fernando. Because at the time the government had a plan not to have any activity in Savannah anymore. And because of where I was in the corporation as an alderman at San Fernando City Corporation, I saw the opportunity and was able to bring Panama this kind of park in San Fernando. And I think that was a first for us and also something that Southerners will probably never forget. It may not happen again. It was a great experience and I want to take credit for it because it was a great opportunity for us to do that.
Nice. Yes, that panorama down in South. But unfortunately, I never made it because during
Wow.
that period, I was working, I was contracted with the Calypso tent, the Review Calypso tent. So I was playing for a few artists there and I was under contract. So the professional I am, I made a choice to do my job instead partaking in the
Well,
panorama.
you were making money.
Yes, 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 yes. That I was doing then. But that whole experience, was spectacular. It was good for South. I hope the
Mm.
people in San Fernando respect that because, as you said, you don't know when again, right? But
May never
that was
happen. May
very
never
good.
happen. May never happen. Noel, you're based in Canada?
No, I based in Trinidad and
Okay.
Tobago, right? Is My brother is up in Toronto, but I used to go for every summer, right? And
Mm.
spend because we have Afropan there, right? My dad,
Yeah, I
our dad,
remember.
right?
You
You
know,
know.
back in the 80s, Kivas spent about 6 months in Canada.
Yes, some of your members still there in Canada.
Yes, it's still there. That's true. We
They're
were
still there.
we were living out in Brampton.
Right, right, right. Oh man,
Uh,
oh man, oh
yeah,
those old far man.
yeah,
I,
yeah. And we were driving to Toronto every weekend to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We controlled that place for about 6 months. We went in there about I think it was June,
uh,
and left Toronto in November. I think it was. We have about four players outside there still. Steve
yes,
Nichols, Larry
yes,
Figaro is over there. You should know Larry.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
Marlon Mendoza, right outside there.
yes.
Yeah,
I
these
played
guys
with
doing
them
well
and gig
outside.
and thing, I went and gig and with Larry and them. I gig with them
Larry
already,
David, you behaving yourself?
Yeah, I gig with them. Well,
Uh,
everybody's family man now. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
right? Everybody's family man, but they were doing good. Everybody was cool, man. Everybody was cool.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
they stick to the pan community, right? Because
Yes,
some of them was
Skiffle have players all over the world. Because once you come
yes,
into our band, our system, and you go out and an opportunity presents itself, I don't know if you're familiar with Blubber. I don't know if you know Blubber from Split Fun Play. You know,
yes,
um, he's out in London. He was able to get an opportunity while touring with us. Junior Edwards. I think he's out in Switzerland. Gary was out in Switzerland for quite a while too.
Gary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Um,
Be-
Cookie from Fontclair as well. All these fellows who passed these people, all they were there for a short while, went outside, got opportunities at the expert, and make a name for themselves. So we are happy to be that kind of custodian to provide the opportunities for people to grow and develop themselves.
well, the jokey thing about Gary and Junior,
Mm,
I went
mm.
Montreux with Panberry, that was with Chicana, Mongol
Yeah,
Patisa, all of
yeah,
we
I
went
remember
up
that
there,
too.
right? And while we set up and the show started, there's a big auditorium, right? We come on stage to play all the time. We backstage. Gary in the front there with Junior, and so it was so amazing. I went into shock. You understand? Because I wasn't
Mm,
expecting to see my old mates
mm.
from Skiffle Bunch,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody was in the show. It was real nice, good
Yeah.
experience.
Where Gary is now?
Well, I don't know, I don't know, you know. I don't know. When he left Trinidad the last time, I think he went stateside, England side. I don't know where he is right now. But
Oh,
ever so often, he pops up on Facebook. So I hope
okay,
all is
I see.
well. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But before we wrap up, Junior, I want to give the youth, the young aspiring players. You know, like we was just mashing gas and just going. Nobody really had no plan. They didn't have no vision for plenty things, right? But give them some advice now. Tell them, right? From
Well,
from the
I will say to any young player, there's one in my house right now that I'm keeping my eyes on. And at the same time, I will tell him, follow your dream, follow your passion. He has so much going for him and has made a decision to do what he is doing. And as his father, it's my responsibility to support him. My concern about people in the arts, although it has changed somewhat, is that the arts will take care of you for a while, but I'm not sure it can sustain you and give you a certain standard of living or comfort that you may want. However, I guess I don't want to dampen anybody's spirit. If you work hard and you follow your dream, anything is possible. So the question really would be follow your dream, follow your stars, work hard, be passionate, be committed, and anything is possible.
correct, correct. From my experience, when I started doing my solo thing, one man, and think people say I was a madman, right?
Yeah,
It was a chance, also, right? But I take the chance. I take
yeah.
the chance when
Well,
nobody really,
in life, you have to take risk.
you
Those
know,
of us who have been successful are those who took risk.
right? Because as a musician, when you come out here, you have no pension, you have no insurance, you have nothing. Most of us living day to day or month to month. We get a good contract, but when we travel, we want to come back home and bless our families and
Yep,
not study for the rainy day,
yep.
right? And also we need our family support doing this, making this sacrifice. We don't want our family to be the weaker link in the support. Our family, we need your trust, we need the encouragement and the support, right? But
Hmm.
for some reason, have some families that think, well, you're gonna trip, man. Yeah, he saw this. So we bring from her.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, you didn't think that when I was outside there for that 6 months, you didn't ask me how it was, if it was safe, or anything happened, nothing. You didn't know if I get sick,
Mhm.
earthquake, tsunami, because some of the
Yeah,
places pan goes is dangerous places,
yeah, yeah.
right? So I would like our people to support genuinely, because down the road we really don't have anything in place for for us in the older age, right?
Yep.
So I love what you said there, and also, right, where's the number one fan program on the platform?
Well,
What is
after
your
appearing at
choice?
this program and after observing this program for a period of time, I will say players only. Players
I
only
hear
had to
you,
be number one
father.
program.
I hear you. I hear you. People, this is Mr. Junia Regrello, right? Mr. King of Carnaval of San Fernando, all right? The mayor, the honorable mayor of the city of San Fernando, all right? I want to personally say here what you're doing down in Saudi and San Fernando, especially putting the cultural icon names on the street. Spread that across the country. Spread it across the country. Everybody's supposed to be able to walk on Kitchener Street, or
Mm.
whoever can professor anybody, right? Look at Sprangalang gone, right?
Prangalang, yes.
So
I was a
you
Prangalang
understand?
funeral today, yeah.
Yeah, you understand? May he rest in peace. I'm sorry I couldn't come and go because of COVID and stuff, but I worked with him for 5 years in the review tent, right?
Amazing
The
character.
man never, yeah, whatever, what a character that man is.
Mm.
Honestly, he's
Yep.
he's extremely good, and his brother too, right?
Tony.
May they rest
Yeah.
in peace because yeah,
Yep.
Tony Hall, they just passed on also. So the whole family, sending our
Mhm.
condolences to each and every one of you. May God continue to bless you guys. All right, and
Thank
Junior,
you,
may
Noel.
God
Thanks for
continue
having me.
to, hey,
Appreciate it.
God blessings, right? God
Thank
blessings,
you.
and continue doing the good work. Continue doing the good work
Appreciate
and
it.
come up with some marvelous idea for carnival. Let we do a community thing. Let we do the city thing. Let we do the community thing in the little village. Bring a little thing, bring
Will
a
do.
little band, or bring a little something. Calypso
Will
competition.
do.
We can't just All right. God bless you,
Will
Father.
do.
Thank you very
Thank you
much
for
for
having me.
supporting Panalakat. Yes, man. One love.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Players
Yeah,
only.
man. Bless. Players only. Players only inside.
Okay.
Oh, we nice. We nice. Yes. Yes, people, we had Junia Regrello inside. Lovely session. We're opening up our season 2 with good vibes from people who genuinely elevate the culture. We say, God bless each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget my passion all the time. Pan a la carte tomorrow, Thursday. God bless each and every one. Until.